There we go. Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. My name is Clayton James, and on my channel I talk about everything raising vibration and expanding consciousness, and today I wanted to talk about a book I just reread. It is called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and I've read this several times in my life. When I went through it this time, I found a lot of really interesting things to take out of it, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. So, have you ever, I'm sure a lot of you have probably read this book before, and I know every time I've read it in the past, I always took on the point of view of the four agreements, which are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. I always looked at those from an outside point of view, like my viewing of the external reality around me that I experience, or how I view everybody else outside of me. And I never took the message internally before, and so when I read it this time, I took the perspective of taking all of these agreements and applying them directly to my own life, like how I personally feel about myself and my internal state. So I think it's really, it was really enlightening for me to read this and go through it again, and like I had this light come on in my head and be like, wow, like all of this it's meant to internalize directly first, and then you experience the external reality as shifted. And like always being impeccable with your word, those little agreements that you make for yourself every day are the goals that I set out for myself, and making sure that like I am constantly aware of that and checking myself and doing the right things and the things that I tell myself that I'm going to do, and not taking anything personally, especially like not judging myself when I fall short, because I'm human and inevitably I'm going to fail at everything that I attempt to do. I mean, that's what success is. It's just repeated failure over and over and over until you get it right. And learning to not internalize those failures and take them as like a part of my belief system or characters, or like what constitutes how I see myself as a person. That was huge for me, like internalizing that message, and then not making assumptions, like not walking into something that I have envisioned for myself with any expectations of how it's going to be completed. I have found that like when I start using my egoic mind and trying to map out the route of how all of the dots are going to get connected and how I'm going to get to the top of the mountain that I'm trying to climb, it always ends up with me feeling completely stressed out and overwhelmed. And I found that to just not make assumptions with myself and expectations, assuming that things are going to go a certain way, or assuming that, you know, this is the end result that I want, assuming that I know exactly how I'm going to get there. Because for me, every time that I tend to think in those kinds of terms, the universe always has a nice, pleasant way of reminding me that I am incorrect, and you know, showing me different ways. So, and the fourth one is always doing your best, like putting in, you know, if you're passionate and driven about doing something, reminding yourself of that and having that constant fire. Like that's what I took out of it. Just that constant reminder of like being in connection with the big picture. And as I go through like my journey in life and expanding my consciousness and raising my vibration, I experience more when I change my internal state, my external reality changes as well. And I feel like the external state the external reality that we all perceive is a holographic reflection of our internal states. And so healing from the inside, that's why I took so much out of this book, I guess, because that's kind of at the point of my life that I'm at right now. These kind of awakening that I'm going through in my own way, I'm realizing that all of the all of the answers to everything that I'm seeking for in regards to career, passion, being fulfilled and happy in life. All of that resides inside of me, and I just need to be able to find ways to access it and then use that energy to express myself out into the world. So I hope that you enjoyed this just little brief discussion about my experience with reading The Four Agreements again. I really love this book because it's evergreen. It's one of those books that you can, every time that I've read it, I learn new things out of it. Even though it's the same words, it's just it relates differently, and it's one of the great books that has the ability to do that. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see y'all on the next video.